clashed against the windows, drowning out the silence that had settled in the house. Olivia's hands trembled as she set her phone down, the screen still glowing with the last text from her mother. "I'll be back tomorrow night. Watch over Noah. You're all he is right now." Noah, her 9-year-old brother, sat curled on the couch, his eyes glued to the television, oblivious to the storm brewing both outside and within Olivia's chest. She was 19, and the weight of responsibility pressed down on her harder than ever. But it wasn't just responsibility, it was fear. Their father had left long ago. Their mother worked 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. And Olivia was tangled in something dark. A sharp knock at the door made her jump. She froze, her pulse racing. She knew who it was before even checking. Dread pulled in her stomach as she opened the door. A tall figure loomed, a man with cold eyes and a sharper smile. Ethan. Ethan wasn't her boyfriend, but he was something. Something dangerous. Something she'd been trying to escape. "You didn't answer my calls," he said, his voice slick and smooth. "Thought I'd drop by." Her voice was tight. "You shouldn't be here. Noah's home." Ethan stepped inside without invitation, his presence filling the small space. His eyes flicked to Noah, who barely glanced up from the cartoon playing on the screen. "Relax," he said, his gaze settling back on her. "I just wanted to see you. You know how invested I am." Olivia's stomach churned. Ethan had been her boss at the diner where she worked part-time, a charming man on the outside, but beneath the surface was something cruel. Their involvement had started when she was vulnerable, needing shifts to support her family. But what she thought was kindness turned into control, and now, he wanted more. Too much more. "I told you," Olivia whispered, her voice shaking but firm, "I'm done." But Ethan's smirk only grew. "No, sweetheart. You owe me." Her breath hitched. She felt the walls closing in, the walls of this house, this situation, this trap. And then, his eyes flicked toward Noah again. His voice dropped, and the threat was cold and clear. "Unless you want to pay your debt another way." Olivia's blood ran cold. She stepped protectively in front of her brother. "Don't you dare." Ethan chuckled darkly. "Relax. I'm not a monster. But maybe a little insurance would be nice. He's precious to you, isn't he?" Noah, sensing the tension, finally looked over. "Liv," he called softly, his small voice cracking Olivia's heart. In that moment, Olivia's mind raced. She felt trapped, but deep down, she knew there was always a way out. Her heart pounded as she made a split-second decision. She softened her expression and met Ethan's eyes. "All right," she said, her voice carefully steady. "But he stays out of it." Ethan's smile was triumphant. "Good girl. I knew you'd see reason." But Olivia wasn't done. She needed to get Noah out. "First, let me put him to bed," she said, her voice sweet and compliant. Ethan, sensing no immediate threat, waved a dismissive hand. "Sure. Make it quick." Olivia knelt beside Noah and whispered urgently, her fingers gripping his small hand. "Noah, listen to me. You're going to go to your room, climb out the window, and run to Mrs. Green's next door. Tell her to call the police. Don't look back. Do you understand? Noah's eyes went wide. But... Her voice cracked with raw emotion. Please, baby. Just do it for me. Tears welled up in his eyes, but he nodded. I love you, Liv. She kissed his forehead. I love you more. As Noah slipped away to his room, Olivia felt her body tremble with terror. She turned back to Ethan, her heart pounding, and forced a smile she didn't feel. But inside, she was a storm, raging, raw, and ready. A sudden crash of glass from the side of the house made Ethan spin around. Shouts erupted from outside. His eyes flashed with confusion and then fury. What the? The front door burst open. Police, lights, chaos. And in the confusion, Olivia felt herself finally breathe. She grabbed Ethan's arm tightly, and for the first time, she smiled, a real, cold smile. Checkmate. Epilogue. The next morning, the storm had passed. Sunlight streamed through the window where Olivia sat, bruised but safe. Noah clung to her side, his small fingers curled around hers. It's over, she whispered to him. You're safe. Noah looked up at her with shining eyes. You saved me. She smiled softly, tears falling freely now. No. We saved each other.